right, well, while I was doing this cooling refresh on the S4, and this is completely all on me, I noticed that I had chewed the fuck out of the fender liners. One of the reasons was because there's no belly pan. Both sides are torn up. Now, when I first bought the car, it did have belly pans, but they were beat to shit. And there's still some belly pans underneath missing. So I ordered some replacements off of eBay. And I'm going to be also replacing the whole belly pan with some aftermarket shit that I saw on Amazon. And it's not like a street shield or any aluminum type deal, but it was cheap. Well, it was about $160. And it looked interesting. Now, I don't want to go with any of the metal shields. Just don't want to add more weight to this already heavy car. So let's unbox these and see what they're all about. So here's the pan that goes underneath the engine. Has an access port for the oil drain. It might be in the correct orientation. It does have its own hardware, and it's a pretty thick plastic. According to their description, the shit can take hits. It's anti-puncture, and most stuff is until it isn't. But so far it looks pretty sturdy. I'll show you guys the one that I had previously bought because it was missing. Bought this one, and it's all flimsy and bent, so that never went back. I had it on the car for a little bit, but then I took it off. But this shit is rigid. It's pretty straight. But we will see how it fits. So I will be removing the fender liner, the OEM fender liner, slapping this shit on, and then getting underneath the car and installing this underbelly shield. Oh, here you go. 09 to 16 A4, 08 to 017 A5, 10 to 16 S4. Alright, so to remove the fender liner, you have two of these deals here. You gotta push the little insert in the middle in, and then with a pry tool get underneath and pull them out. At least I believe these hold part of the fender liner in. They don't, well, whatever. That fender liner's in there, but it's already moved, so whatever. And then another thing that holds the fender liner in place are these clips here. And see if I can get a better view on how to get these out. There's also some 10mm plastic nuts that hold that little bracket that goes over the axle in place. You gotta remove those. And I believe that's it. And then I guess whatever, I'm doing this with the bumper already off, so obviously whatever fasteners that are underneath here that hold it to the bumper. So let's work on these little clips now. All right, so these little clips suck. You can see that groove there. So that little nub will go in through here into that recess section, and then that little tab holds it in place. So you gotta pull the top part of this clip up to get that little clip to not hold that nub in place, and then slide it out this way. See if I can show you guys on this one here. So you see the little nub in the middle, and then at the top there, that's a little clip that holds it in place from sliding out. All right, so I don't know where that one fell, but there it is, found it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe, that hold it in place. Maybe more. I'll update you guys if I find any others. All right, forgot there's another fastener that holds this in place, and it holds it onto part of the subframe. That little round part here, we'll just separate it. It comes out. Now, once you got the fender liner off, you want to transfer over this plastic piece here onto the new one, and that's a T25 screw. There's 3 of them, but obviously this one is missing. Got it off. I guess that one wasn't missing. It doesn't have the same as these 2 here, so whatever. Now I gotta find which one is the right side, and then it goes in like this. And this is where your belly pan mounts up to. And that's why it's chewed up, because there's nothing holding this in place, so the wind would just blow it whenever I was driving onto the wheels. And now I gotta fucking pay to play. Alright, I got the liner in. It is a tight fit, so you do have to muscle some of these holes into their little nubs, but it's in. Everything's good to go. Now I gotta put these little clips back in. So it goes underneath. You'll have to push the fender liner in as well, but there it goes. You just push it until you hear it click. And that's it. That's locked in place. Now, I still got some more, but I'll insert this bracket here. Get the little 10mm nuts and put them in. And these can just be finger tight. They're plastic. Don't overdo them. That's it. And then you rinse and repeat for the other side. Alright, so I'm looking at their instructions on how to install this, and obviously number 1 says remove screws and fasteners, because you're going to be using theirs, and it just shows you how to install them, how they want you to install them. There's 3 different kinds of screw combinations that they have, and they've drawn them out for you here. Alright, so you got to remove these fasteners, and that's actually good because these fucking suck. Luckily they're easy to come out. Once they're out, you insert their fasteners. Oh, hey, my bad, oops, there. And then 1 on each end of this plastic guard here. And I believe this side has one of those retarded ones. And then these wood-looking screws, supposedly, I guess they go into one of these holes. These mounting points here don't have any hardware supplied for them, so I'm gonna figure something out for that. Well, while I was trying to fit this splash shield in, ran into some issues. I don't want to say all of them, but some of these holes don't line up, and it seems like it sticks out more outwards on this side than it does on the driver's side. So I've marked off some spots where I'm just gonna have to cut to be able to get this to fit in. This right here, the front sway bar hits up on, and around to the other side. This side here that I marked off, I need to cut as well, because that's where that guard on the bumper sits up on. So instead of returning it, I'm just gonna cut it up and make it fit. So I haven't tightened these fasteners, but you can see it's not matching up with that. I cut it a little, but I still need to cut it some more. But maybe it's not that bad on this side anymore. Right, but it was making contact with the sway bar there. And over here, it was making contact with this trim piece here, but now it's not. It's kind of lined up. And there you go, sway bar. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. It's plastic, so it'll bend. And hopefully these line up. Yep. Now for the rear, you're gonna use 3 sets of their mounting hardware to get into these holes here, but you gotta take the OEM clip out. So I use this trim removal tool to pull them out, or at least pull this one out. So it's basically just go in and pull out. And I do recommend saving those clips just in case you revert back to stock. But the way this installs is you have their screw and a spacer that goes above the brace here Then you get another spacer and a nut that goes under here. So there it is, top of the fucking bolt, spacer, subframe or brace, and then another spacer, and then the bolt, right? And then bam, and then you'll have another spacer, and then final nut. And you do that for all three. All right, now as far as the rear belly pan, it's gonna mount up to your transmission mount here. There's 2 tabs on the side that have these clips. Remove them and insert the provided clips. And then I'm pretty sure the other mounting point is on the subframe here. This hole here, that's the only logical explanation, so I'm gonna add my clip there. And as far as how it mounts, it just slides into here. So I haven't tightened these yet because I want to get that in first. So I'll show you guys afterwards. So I got it mounted up, just tightening the bolts. Alright, man, this shit ain't going nowhere. Everything's fucking nice and tight. Alright, so here's the finished product. As far as fit and finish, the rear one went in fine, no issues. On this side, I had to drill 2 extra holes to get that hardware in. I just reused OE style retainers and torque screws to hold those 2 in, and then with the supplied hardware all the way at the end. Now, when I was putting these bolts in, these 2 I had to dremel them out a little out more because they were hitting up on these bolts. The center one was fine, but these not so much. And then this one was a pain in the ass to tighten from up top because of the power steering shit that's up there. I do want to test this out. So this box here, obviously you can see it has little oil thing here. And let's open it up and see if it lines up with the drain plug. It's a Phillips screw that holds it in place. And there it is, look at that, perfect. Now it is a little close to the edge, but not bad. And then this, you can remove it or just let it hang. So that's neat. If you can stomach modifying something that you paid money for, I do recommend it. It's plastic, so I'm not too fucking worried about it. But I'll put links down in the description for this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.